Good evening. Welcome to the 26th episode of Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Facebook Live. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I am looking really forward to talking about tonight's discussion, which is the necessity of social media for writers. But first, I do want to take this moment to remind you that every Wednesday I host a virtual writing hour at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So it's done via Zoom, so if you're interested, definitely go to rachelpilcherwritingworkshops.com for more information. And if you have any questions, you can definitely email me. I will be glad to hear from you. Next up, my next online workshop is called Your Online Presence, and that is at the end of this month. It's going to be Saturday, April the 27th. That is going to be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it will also be done via Zoom. So I hope that you're interested, and tonight's discussion is going to actually kind of lead into some of the topics that we're going to be dealing with in your online presence. So you can find out more information and register via rachelpilcherwritingworkshops.com. And finally, before we get started with the topic, Panther City Review Issue 4 is open for submissions through April the 29th. That is a Monday, Willie Nelson's birthday. Don't forget it. That's an easy way to remember it. If you forget, just say, okay, let me Google when Willie Nelson's birthday is. The theme this year is focus. That is my word of the year, and I thought it would make a great theme for Panther City Review. So for more information and to submit, you can go to panthercityreview.com, and you can find out all the information that you need to know. Or you can go to any of my social media or any of my Facebook, any of my websites, and there are also links to panthercityreview.com. So tonight, we're going to talk about the necessity for social media for writers. And one of the things that I try to encourage everybody to have is, if you're a writer or if you're a professional of some other sort, is to have a professional social media presence that is kind of separate from your personal social media presence. So if you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, you should have something that's probably a little bit separate from your personal stuff. And I'm going to talk to you a bit about why that is always a good idea to do that. So one of the big reasons is that you might not want to have your personal stuff all over connected with your business. So, that not everybody needs to know what your dog Chi-Chi did last week. So that's just something that you might want to consider whenever you're thinking about that. But there are also other important things that benefit you whenever you're doing social media for your professional work that you can see if you have a professional page. So the big part is analytics. If you are using a personal page, you don't get the kind of analytics that you get when you're using a professional page. So, and I know specifically on Facebook and Instagram, I don't do Twitter anymore. I just have some personal reasons why I'm just not a fan of Twitter anymore. But I definitely try to have a strong presence on Facebook with the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops page, with the Sleeping Panther Press page, and I have another page that I'm trying to build something for. I have an idea of what I want to do with it. I just need the time to get it, but it's called Fort Worth Bohemian. So I'm sharing a lot of stuff that's from the Fort Worth or the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops page and the Sleeping Panther Press page to that. So, but it's getting the information out there in various places. My mom says hi, and Ryan Lopez says Twitter sucks. I agree. Twitter sucks, and that's part of the personal reason why I don't like it. I have a hard time following things on Twitter, but apparently that might just be something with my brain. But so I really do Facebook and Instagram a lot. So with the analytics on Facebook specifically, because that's where a major part of my social media presence is for all of my business intrigues that I have. The things that you can find out with a Facebook page instead of a personal page is you can see, you're notified whenever there are page views. So if people look at your page or they look at your post, you do get information on page views, on post views, on shares, which, you know, as a individual, you kind of get information if so-and-so shared this. But you also get interaction. So if somebody shared your post and then a bunch of people liked it, you get information about that. So it gives you an idea of who is actually seeing and interacting with your work. And I love that. I love seeing who is sharing my stuff. And I hope that is creating a broader audience for me. It also is useful whenever people say, well, you know, why should I use you as a writing instructor, or why should I use you as a writing coach? I can show them, it's like, well, I do have a reputation. People do like my page. People do follow me. This is everything that you can see about me. And then whenever I do get a book out there, if I'm working through another publisher other than myself, I can show what kind of following that I have and be able to prove, well, you know, I have this many people that look at this page this many times in a week. And I really love how it says, you've had 685 interactions with your Facebook page this week. That's really cool to be able to feel that, to see that, because you feel like, well, you know, all this work that I'm doing, it's working for it. The other thing I really love is the ability to schedule posts. So if you look at my Facebook page for Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops, often you'll notice that I've started, I think I started at the maybe end of February, beginning of March, adding a quote every day by a writer. I think it was at the end of March, at the end of February that I started doing that. But a quote every single day for, you know, writing, famous writers, people talking about creativity. I started doing that. I scheduled, this is a little, you know, my little secret trick. I have scheduled quotes. I had one day where I had maybe 3 or 4 hours where I didn't really have much to do. And I created every single quote that is scheduled from about early March all the way until July. And they're all set to post on my page between 6:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. And I notice I get a lot of interaction first thing in the morning because people get online and they see things online. And if one of my posts is one of the first things they see, then that goes for interaction, for people to be able to have had that show up in their feed, because that's what the interaction part says. So, you know, you can schedule posts for as long as you can. At one point, I think I had 187 posts scheduled. So things that I know that are going to be regular, I post that. That way I don't have to think, oh, well, you know, today I need to make sure that I share a post about the class that's coming up at the end of the week. I've even gone through and scheduled posts for all of my classes, reminders for Facebook Live, for this, for all sorts of things. So the ability to schedule posts is amazing. I love that. That's one of my favorite things. If you are doing events, so if you're doing book signings, or if you are attending an event, it's easy to share on there. But also if you are, you know, any kind of thing that you're going to be a part of, if you create that event as a page, then whenever it pops up in people's Facebooks, especially if they, you know, are into the arts or into writing or things like that, it'll pop up in their event saying this event is happening near you this week or this weekend. I'm sure some of you have seen that on Facebook, and you're going, wow, that's kind of interesting. They have me targeted. They know what I like. They know what I'm interested in. Well, if you're doing that as an individual, if you're scheduling that as an individual, that won't pop up in people's feed. It just won't. Unless they get invited to it, or it's shared by another page. So it can be shared, like if I share it on my professional pages, then it could very well pop up as an event that you would be interested in. But they don't do that if you are sharing as on your personal page. If you're creating on your personal page, it doesn't do that. So that is extraordinarily important. So if you are doing a book launch, or if you're having, like if you're in real estate, because I know Ryan and his wife do real estate, they're former students of mine. They're in real estate and they're having an open house at a house. It's more important for them to create that event on their business page than it would be to create it on their individual pages, because they would know that, hey, my event's probably going to be seen by people who are interested in that type of thing. So that is another great thing about having a business page. So I just have a couple of more. I don't want to talk all night about this because I will be discussing in more detail on my workshop that I'm going to have at the end of the month. So, and plus, it really is something that could take 30 or 40 or 50 minutes just to talk about social media. So, I do want to tell you that, most people don't necessarily want to be your Facebook friend, but they will think nothing about liking your page. They're like, oh, here's, this author, so I'll use myself as an example. Here's Rachel Pilcher. She wrote this really cool story that I read, and this is her personal page, and this is her professional page. Maybe I'll like her professional page because I don't know her well enough to be friends, and I don't know if you're anything like me. Unless they don't have a professional page, I may or may not, depending on how much I want to interact with them, ask to be their friend. But for me, people that I don't know at this point in the game, I don't friend them unless I know you in real life, or I have met you at least once in real life. I'm not as game to just say, oh, well, I have no idea who this person is, but I will friend them. So for those of you who are watching, if you've given me a friend request and I haven't accepted it, it's probably because I don't really know you. But you can follow my page and see all kinds of great things on the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops page, and I post cool things on that. That's probably about what you're interested in. So, if people choose to just follow your personal page, though, instead of friending you or following, if you don't have a professional page, they're going to be less likely to actually see your information. Now, nobody has ever been able to figure out Facebook's analytics for anything that they do. And it changes weekly, I'm sure, maybe even daily. I think that, the computer programmers for Facebook have pretty much guaranteed that they're going to have job security, because they're like, well, how about we do this? Let's play with this. So nobody really knows exactly how it works, but I do notice that, just with my business stuff, people who are interacting with it are generally people who are going to want to interact. And most people are curious enough that we're like, well, I haven't seen anything from this page lately, let me go check on that. So it's never a bad idea to have a professional page versus having your personal page. Now, I can tell you, on Instagram, I just recently connected my business page, my Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops page, to my Rachel.Pilcher Instagram feed. And it's kind of, I'm not exactly 100% okay with it, because what it will do is it'll allow you to post to Instagram, and you can choose to have it automatically feed into your Facebook page. I use my Instagram page as my personal Instagram page. So I understand for those of you that are like, well, I already have all of these people on my personal stuff. How do I transition and say, well, now you need to go look at my professional page if that's all you're interested in. But I made the executive decision that I can post this other stuff. My personal Instagram page was open to the public. It was not anything that was not able to be seen by anybody, but I decided to upgrade that to a business page. So it's kind of underneath the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops brand, but it's also branded as Rachel Pilcher. So it's me, but you know, Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops is me. So, you know, I'm going to be okay with that, and anything that I want to end up sharing on my personal Facebook page that I put on Instagram, I'm just going to do that one extra step. And it may cause me to not put as many random things on my Instagram, but I try not to do that anyway. So, you know, it's baby steps. It's baby steps for everybody. But, you know, just being able to prove to people, especially whenever you're interested in getting publishers to look at your writing, that you do have a social media following, and it's not just your family and friends, but you can prove that all of these other people are interacting with your stuff, will be what makes you more viable and legitimate to them. Because when it comes down to it, and especially for those of you who are writers and you're looking at being able to market yourself to a broader audience for a publisher, they're going to want to know what kind of following you have. They're going to want to know what kind of possible guaranteed sales you could bring to them. And having a social media following means that you'll be able to do that. So, I think that is the biggest portion of just doing a separate social media account for your professional work. It's just going to be the easiest way to do it. And I just noticed Monakia joined. Hi, Monakia. Thank you for joining in. I hope you're doing well tonight. And we're just wrapping up. So if you watched on the replay and you want to comment on anything, I will definitely respond back to you. And that goes for anybody else that's watching. If you joined in late and you want to participate in the conversation, of course, I'm not going to do it live like this, but I will hop on and answer any questions that you may have. Definitely join me in 2 weeks on Sunday, April the 21st, which is also Easter. And I do understand having a Facebook Live event on Easter isn't always the easiest thing, but it is at 6 p.m. All of the Easter egg hunt should be over with. You should be able to, you know, have your church service, go to you know, have your Easter dinner, get everything all ready to go, and then you'll be relaxing at home, getting ready for Monday, and you can sit and enjoy and share information with the public on the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Facebook Live. So, I hope to see you then. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in. I hope you get out and enjoy. It's been kind of dreary. Monakia says that's on her birthday. Well, we will make sure that we have a happy birthday. I will put that in my notes and say it's Monakia's birthday. As soon as she joins in, we're going to say happy birthday. But I hope you enjoy the evening. It is kind of dreary outside. It's been kind of dreary all day here in Fort Worth. But, you know, at least it's not freezing. So that's a good thing. So have a wonderful week. See you in 2 weeks.